Many people talk about ethics and morals as if they are exactly the same thing, but there are some subtle differences between the two. Starting with the basics, morals are what an individual regards as being right and wrong. Ethics are basically a set of rules or guides to assist in making sure you know whether what you're doing is right or wrong. So obviously, your own set of morals will determine what kind of ethics you actually follow, or even to know if what you're doing is generally regarded as being ethically correct. Distinction between ethics and morals is fundamentally important to living in a functioning society, especially in a society where different people may have slightly different idea of what is morally the right thing to do. However, the ethics of different groups within society may also not totally agree with each other. So you have different groups that clash over what they think is ethically the right thing to do, as well as individuals clashing over what is the right moral thing to do. Potentially these clashing groups could be things like religions, health professionals, politicians, or even companies, a whole series of other similar groups. Of course, it then follows that individuals may belong to several different groups and may be a contradiction over what each of the individual groups they belong to regard as being ethically correct. The individual then has to decide what to do over any contradictions based upon their own moral judgment, which in turn may reflect how they developed as a child, conditions of the society around them, or even how that society changes and adapts over time. The contradiction over ethics is too great for the individual's moral code to actually cope with. They may even feel the need to leave one of the groups because of the ethical stance of another of their groups, or their code of ethics may clash with their own personal morals. Despite claims of some religions, or even some individuals from some religions, having a set of morals isn't dependent upon a religion. Going further, morals don't even have their origins in religions. Societies developed a shared set of morals in order to work together in a generally harmonious form. Without sharing one, it would be impossible for a society to actually form in the first place. Now later societies were established, religions then came along and formalised the existing set of morals into what was regarded as a shared standard of ethical behaviours. So for a starting point, society may be that individuals agree that it is morally wrong to kill. It's a fairly basic moral concept. You're going to be living in a group together. Later, religion may come along and lay down the specifics of when and how it would be ethically wrong to kill somebody. Since religion has codified the ethics of this situation, these ethics may in turn be used by society to formalise the ethics a stage further into making them laws. So while religions may not be responsible for the moral origins of a society, religion's ethics may be the starting point for many societal laws. However, as societies change and adapt, they often feel the need to update and change their laws, which may in turn clash with the ethics of religions which haven't or refuse to adapt to the change. So while some religions may be the historical basis for the starting point of a legal system, they don't define or limit the legal system. One of the earliest examples of this is the ancient Egyptian god Ma'at. Basically, the Egyptian god of goodness, truth, law and justice, with principles or ethical codes which individuals were supposed to be able to attest to when they died, including not having robbed or stolen from anyone, not killed, not bragged, etc. Like many ethical codes specific to a particular society, many of the things which are considered ethical can be fairly specific to that society. These may not even be considered an issue with a different society. With that, these include not profiteering from the selling of grain or not having waded in the water. This in part goes to show how many codes of ethics are actually situational rather than being absolute. You can only do this thing if certain pre-existing conditions have been met. So a moral objection not killing may become an ethical position on not murdering someone, thereby allowing for someone to be killed in the ethical defence of friends, family, or some other relevant situation. The ethical position may then become the legal position of the society based upon the morals and ethics of members within that society.